Okay, let's dive into Isaiah chapter 56. It's quite something.
It really is. Gives you this sharp look at who belongs, what actions matter.
Yeah. And maybe crucially, what happens when leaders, fail.
Right. And what strikes me immediately is how it kicks off. It's not abstract.
Not at all. It's straight into maintain justice and do what is right.
Exactly. For my salvation is close at hand. So right away, action is tied to, well, divine promise.
And keeping the Sabbath is pulled out, isn't it?
Ugh.
And keeping your hand from doing evil,
Yeah.
does the person who does this is blessed.
It does. So you've got this moral core linked to a very specific, observable religious practice.
But then, and this feels pretty radical for the
Oh,
day,
absolutely. It turns straight to groups often pushed to the margins. We're talking foreigners and eunuchs.
yeah, the text explicitly tells the foreigner, don't think you'll be cut off. And the eunuch shouldn't feel like a dry tree.
Yeah.
No future.
Which was huge back then. Eunuchs, I mean, they were often seen as incomplete, maybe unable to fully participate, certainly couldn't carry on a family line.
So what's the promise for them? If they keep the Sabbath, hold the covenant fast.
It's incredible. Within my temple and its walls, God says, a memorial and a name better than sons and daughters, an everlasting name.
A name. Better than having kids. Than lineage.
Wow. It completely flips the script, doesn't it, on what status means. Usually it's all about family, inheritance, but here, loyalty, right action, that creates the spiritual legacy.
A place inside the temple walls, even.
Exactly. And for foreigners, same clarity. If they bind themselves to the Lord, serve him, love his name, keep the Sabbath, hold the covenant.
You get brought in, too.
Yep. Brought to the holy mountain, joy in the house of prayer, their sacrifice is accepted.
So the temple itself is called a house of prayer for all nations.
Yeah.
That's really expansive. It's about commitment, not where you were born.
It really is.
Yeah.
Basing belonging on action and commitment, not just, heritage. It's still kind of a challenge today, I think.
How so? Why do you think it resonates now?
Well, it pushes us, doesn't it, to think about our own communities, religious, national, whatever. Who do we include or exclude, and why? Is it just identity? Or is it about shared commitment, ethical living? It was revolutionary, and frankly, it's still a high bar.
It is. But, oh, the chapter doesn't quite stay there, does it? There's a sharp turn coming.
Yeah, sharp is the word. Abrupt, even. It pivots to this really scathing critique of the leaders.
The watchmen and shepherds.
Yeah.
The very people who should be leading the way on justice.
And the language is brutal. Israel's watchmen are blind, they all lack knowledge. Mute dogs, they cannot bark.
Mute dogs, wow, can't even warn people. And they lie around and dream, they love to sleep. It's just stunningly lazy leadership being described.
Effective, yeah. But it gets worse. It's not just laziness, it's self-interest. They're dogs with mighty appetites, they never have enough.
Always wanting more for themselves.
Exactly. Each seeks his own gain. They're thinking about wine, parties, how tomorrow can be even better. But for them, not the community.
So you have this incredible, wide-open vision, inclusion for anyone, foreigner or eunuch, based on righteousness.
Yep.
And right next to it.
This absolute condemnation of the leaders who are supposed to uphold that vision but are just blind, greedy, asleep at the wheel.
What does putting those two things side by side tell us?
Well, it suggests, I think, that building that kind of just inclusive community needs both things. Individual commitment from everyone and faithful, selfless leadership.
The leader's failure isn't just personal. It actually wrecks the potential for the community Isaiah envisioned.
Right. It forces you to ask, where does real authority lie? With the title, or with the person actually living out the values.
So Isaiah 56 really lays out this stark choice, this contrast.
Yes.
Radical welcome and promise for those seeking righteousness, keeping the covenant, versus this damning picture of leaders who are just looking out for number one.
It definitely makes you think about what true belonging and, frankly, true leadership look like.
And it challenges us, perhaps, to consider who we might be overlooking today, based on Isaiah's standard of action over heritage. Whose commitment are we maybe failing to see or value? Something to chew on.